Good morning, happy Wednesday, and I'm glad you took a moment to join us today. We've had a busy few days. This is our Fundamentalist Conference. It's a time to remind ourselves why we believe what we believe, why we believe in baptism and not baby baptism, why we believe in baptism of only believers, baptism by immersion, why we believe in the Bible being the Word of God, why we believe in soul winning, why we believe in a life of purity and holiness. There's a reason. There's a reason that I urge people not to go to casinos and not to go to the nightclubs. And of course, people can. I just got the pulpit that there's no rule. You can't go to our church if you go to a casino. We got all kinds of. Our churches, the doors are open to sinners. That's all that can come to Faith Baptist Church is sinners, because we're all sinners. But why? Why do we believe what we believe? Why do we believe it's so important that we read the Bible personally? Why is it so important that we are Baptists? And so this 4 days is just a chance to be reminded. If you'd like to hear some different messages, last year's messages were totally different from this year's messages. Last year, you can go to our website, and we have I don't know what you call it, but a playlist from the Fundamentalist Conference from 2024. And Terry Angel spoke, Jerry Ross spoke, and Mike Johnson spoke, and a great conference with those men last year. And this year on Sunday, Brother Johnson spoke all day. Monday night, Brother Johnson and John Shook, Pastor John Shook from Asheboro, North Carolina, great preacher, great guy, just a bright spot among godly Christian men. And I know his family, I know he and his wife, I know his children. I've watched his kids for some years. Just a pleasure to be around he and his church. What a happy church. And a zealous church, people being saved and baptized, young people in Bible. It's a twin to our church. We are clear across the country, but so much alike. They are Southern, so they sing better. I tell you, there's something I don't know what it is, but we work at music. We work at good music out here. But the South, I think people got singing in their blood. I was preaching at a church, and I forget where it is. I want to say South Carolina, but it could have been Tennessee, somewhere in the South. And I was on the platform, and it was a special meeting where there were multiple churches. And the pastor just said, "Hey, brother so-and-so from some other church." He said, "Hey, you guys sing. Why don't you get the group and come on up here and sing?" No warning whatsoever. 4 or 5, 6 people came up, and they sang an incredible song like they'd been practicing forever. And I thought, can't do that in California. The only thing we could sing is "I Wish They All Could Be California Girls" or something. It's just a different culture. But I love it. I love their music. But but John Shook's a great guy, and a pleasure to hear him preach. But this Fundamentalist Conference, we want to know why. Why do we believe what we believe? Why do we not do what we don't do, and all those things? Whether it be why am I a Baptist or why am I reading the King James Bible? We're not mad at anybody. We don't think we're better than anybody. But let's just have a reason. And so that's what this conference is for, just to remind people of the why. It's not just you like butter pecan and I like chocolate. No. There's a reason. There's a logical reason, and it's not feeling. It's not, well, I prefer more Southern gospel music, and I prefer more praise and worshipy, sway and wave your hands kind of. No, we want a biblical reason for what we do, and but we're not mad at anybody. We're not better than anybody, but we should know why. And if you're a Lutheran, you should know why you're a Lutheran. Why are you a Lutheran? Well, we've always been Lutheran. Well, that's not a good reason. You could always be a cannibal. You're going to keep being a cannibal? That's crazy. Just that you've always done it is no good reason at all. Your parents and grandparents were Satan worshipers. You're going to keep that up? Of course not. So we want to know why. We just want to know why. And I want people to know why. Why do we believe you ought to get married before you live together? Well, there's a Bible reason for those things. So anyway, hope you'll join us today. No 3:30 Bible study today, because this morning, Brother Joseph Esposito and myself, we're speaking from 10 to 12, and then tonight at 7 o'clock, closing service of our Fundamentalist Conference. So join us. Hope you can be a part of things. I want to mention just real quick, I was thinking about a guy, Zinzendorf, Zinzendorf, Nicholas Zinzendorf, born in Dresden, Germany, to a very noble family, a wealthy family, educated at Halle and Wittenberg. very high society, high culture, a man known for sincere piety, very godly man. He was given a state position, a political position, but he wanted to preach. And so going off to a university to train for the ministry, this is 1730s, and he was trained, and he associated himself with the Moravian church and with the Moravian believers. They were very much like Baptists. They didn't use the Baptist name, but they were very much like us. I couldn't tell you an area we differ. Now, I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just not the brilliant historian, but I don't know of any areas. We are way different than Methodists and way different than Lutherans, but the Moravians, they were some pretty incredible people. They were very well known for missions. They were passionate. They were known for the 100-year prayer meeting, where they began having prayer and planning and going around the clock. And they just kept prayer going for missions. And there's some great stories if you want to read about them sometime. But he associated himself with that group, and he spent his life and his money in support of the ministry, the gospel ministry, but also of the Moravians. In fact, at his estate, a very wealthy man, at his big estate, they set aside he created a settlement for Moravian refugees, because they were like the Baptists. They were chased out of cities, out of countries. They were banished into the wilderness, killed. And so he set up a refugee camp, and it became a thriving colony of Bible-believing Christian people. And so he's a great guy. But here's a song he wrote. Jesus, thy blood and righteousness, my beauty are, my glorious desire, my glorious dress. Midst flaming worlds, in these arrayed, with joy shall I lift up my head. Bold shall I stand in the great day, for who ought to my charge shall lay. Fully absolved, through these I am, from sin and fear, from guilt and shame. Lord, I believe thy precious blood, which at the mercy seat of God forever doth for sinners plead, for me in for my soul was shed. And a song not that well known, but he wrote many songs, and he kept producing new hymnals for the Moravian people with new songs geared around missions and songs geared around salvation and the blood of Christ and the second coming and things like that. So I don't know about the second coming. That was something else. But his music was very much scriptural music, and a great guy. I want to mention a verse real quick, and this has to do a little bit with our conference, our fundamentalist conference. Why? And this to me is one of the best reasons why we seek a pure life, a holy life. Why should our TV be holy? Why should our personal vocabulary and conversation be holy? There are dirty things in this world we know about, but we don't need to talk about them. There's vocabulary that's in our head. There are words we've heard that ought not be said. There are words that I've never said publicly that wouldn't be considered a cuss word. It's just they're indiscreet. There's some words in the Bible that I would never use publicly. And if I get to that scripture, I will read it. But those are not words I would put in conversation, because some words that were more acceptable, when we might say, when the Bible was put together, they take on a more guttural tone in our day. And so just why do we push, meaning me and preachers like me, why do we push for purity? I want you to notice, if you can look at your Bible, just a few thoughts, and this is a lengthy sermon, but just a few thoughts from Philippians chapter 1 and verse 9. Paul says, "This I pray, that your love may abound." And if there was a period there, well, that would be fine. I just want you to be loving. I just want you to care about people, and certainly we should. Now, I think I'm going to deal with this some tonight, so you might hear this more at length in the evening Bible study, but maybe not. We'll see. But that evening's a long ways away. Wednesday night Bible study is a long way from here. But he doesn't say, "This I pray your love may abound," period. He says, "This I pray that your love may abound, yet more and more in knowledge and in all judgment." He says, I want you to be careful that you would love, but love with knowledge, love with judgment. Like I shouldn't love poisonous plants, rattlesnakes, and cobras in the church nursery. That if I love the babies in the nursery, I can't love poisonous plants in the church nursery. I need to love with knowledge and with judgment. There are things you can't love soul winning and evangelism, and you can't love the getting the gospel out and then hang around Calvinistic type teaching and preaching in a church. You can't join a Calvinistic church when they're not going to believe you should go out soul winning, because whoever will get saved will, and whoever won't, and you can't do anything about it because it's all predestined and ordained by God. And there's a lot to that doctrine, but no, we don't believe it. God so loved the world; He wants the whole world saved. God sent His Son, and Jesus shed His blood for the world. And if somebody doesn't get saved, it's their call. But so there are things. He says, I want you to love in knowledge and in judgment. Now, why is it so important that my love would abound in knowledge and in judgment? Well, he explains, there's no period yet, that ye may approve the things that are excellent. So he says, if you love with knowledge and judgment, then the things you approve of will be excellent. So let's say I bring our young people. I just love all people. Love. And so I find out that the Mormon church down here is getting together with the Jehovah's Witness church, and they're having a big youth rally. And so I just love people. And so we're going to get together with them. So I'm approving this meeting of Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses, and these Baptist kids are joining, which they're not. I wouldn't do this, but see, Paul said, I wish your love would abound, yet more and more knowledge and judgment, that you may approve things that are excellent. I need to make sure my love is based on knowledge and on judgment, good discretion, good judgment, and knowledge. What do the Mormons believe? What do the JWs believe? Well, they don't believe in hell. They don't believe in salvation by grace. They don't believe that Jesus is God in the flesh. They don't believe in the deity of Christ. There's a whole bunch of things they don't believe. And since they don't believe those things, in knowledge and in judgment, I can't approve this meeting. So he says, I want you to love with knowledge and judgment, that you may approve things that are excellent. God doesn't want us to act approvingly toward things that are not excellent. There are things that we shouldn't be a part of. There's a big bingo night down at the Catholic Church. Now, is it sinful to play bingo? I don't think so. But I'm not going to the Catholic Church to play bingo. What I would be doing is approving the affairs at the Catholic Church. Well, I don't approve of those events at the Catholic Church. And the bingo itself, play bingo at your house with your kids, and have chocolate chip cookies be the prize, or just chocolate chips is the gambling that you do, or whatever. I'm not for gambling. I don't want to approve. There's a whole lot of things. But he says, if you just love, you're going to start loving things that are not excellent. You're going to approve things that are not excellent. So your love should be with knowledge and judgment, so that you only approve things that are excellent. Now look on, he goes a little bit further. Verse 10, that ye may approve things that are excellent, that ye may be sincere and without offense till the day of Christ. Now, sincere, that you may be sincere, he's talking about when people look at you, it's obvious you're sincere. Like looking at a glass that you washed, is it clean? Looking at a gem, you've got a beautiful diamond, you're looking at it and there's not a flaw in it, that you are the real deal. That you don't just talk it, you walk it. And he says, I want you to only see, if I approve our kids going to an event that's blending homosexuals with Christians, I can't approve that. But if I do approve it, now I'm approving something that's not excellent. And since I'm approving something that's not excellent, when someone looks at me and examines me, I won't appear to be sincere, because on this side, I'm preaching holiness and separation and purity, and then my behavior is in conflict with my preaching. And so I'm not sincere. My behavior not matching my preaching shows that I'm a hypocrite, is one word, but that I'm not sincere. It's not. I'm not really sincere when I'm saying these things. If I say you should get married before you live together, and then I'm hanging out at some friends' houses and they're not married, and we're best buds and we hang out all the time together, and there's 2 or 3 couples, a couple of them aren't married, a couple of them are married, and well, I'm saying I approve things that are not excellent. And Paul says, I don't want you to approve things that are not excellent. Now, why? It's not done yet. But you may approve things that are excellent, that you may be sincere and without offense till the day of Christ. Sincere meaning when they see you, you're going to see it's what you live and what you talk about is backs itself. There's no hypocrisy. There's no double standard. But here's the thing, that you may be without offense to the day of Christ. Now, this is the point. Why should my love abound in knowledge and judgment? Because so that I will not approve things that are not excellent. Why? So that when people look at me, they see that my words match my behavior, so that no one is offended. And the word offend means to stumble. You know, the Bible talks several times about don't set a stumbling block before your brother. Here I am preaching on purity and sobriety and decency, and then someone sees me. I've got a little refrigerator here in my office, and I've got a 6-pack of beer in here. Well, I'm not drunk. I just drink a beer now, and I just like beer. Well, I'm approving something that's not excellent. And since I approve something that's not excellent, when people look at me and hear my preaching against liquor and then see my lifestyle, I'm drinking liquor, I'm not sincere. My preaching is not, I must not be sincere in my preaching because of my lifestyle. Now what happens, since I'm approving something that's not excellent, since people see I am not really sincere, they start drinking and they end up being drunks. Someone dies in a drunk driving car accident, and now what happens is somebody stumbled and somebody was hurt because I approved something that was not excellent. And that showed that I was not sincere, and that came because I loved, but my love was not with knowledge and judgment. And there's a whole lot to this, but it's so important. My life of purity has to do with how it's going to affect other people. I need to be pure. I need to be holy, and it's vital. And so we should be very guarded. Make sure that the things you, out of love, the things that you approve, that you don't approve things that are not excellent. Holiday times are coming. Your company has a party. You go to this party, and half the people there are drunk, and the other half are drinking. I'm not sure. You've got to decide. But to me, I couldn't go there. If I really felt like I needed to be there, I might make, right at the early on when it just starts, I might make an appearance, shake hands with people, say, it's so good working with you. I hope you have a good 2026. It's been great working with you in 2025. And then I'd leave before the liquor gets flowing, before people are drunk, before people are stupid and dancing and music and whatever else is going to go on there, because I don't want to approve something that is not excellent. Because if I approve things that are not excellent, when people look at my word and look at my life and they don't match, they'll say, you're not sincere in what you say. They may get involved in that thing, and then they would stumble or be offended. And then their life would be hurt because I approved things. When I showed up at that party, I was putting my stamp of approval on it. Some might say, well, hey, Goddard, he's a Christian and he's going to the party, so I guess it's okay. I go to the party. Well, I don't even think I could go at all because of that. And so I go there and slip out, but the other person doesn't realize it. And so they know I'm going. So they go and they stay and they end up drunk and messing up their life. Oh, we've got to be very careful that we approve things that are excellent, that our love doesn't get us to approve things that are wrong. And yes, we got to love people, but I shouldn't let my decision making be based on my feelings of love. My decision making should be based on knowledge and judgment. Great, powerful verses. I hope you join us 10 o'clock this morning. Be a great time together. Brother Joseph Esposito, he oversees Pacific Baptist Bible College. He's on staff at Pacific Baptist Church under Pastor Stephen Myers. Great guy. We've watched him grow up. Known him since he was a baby. He's just a year or two younger than my son Josh, and he grew up among our young people. Our teams played ball together. We go to each other's conferences and things, and he's a great guy. You'll enjoy him. He'll be preaching around, 10:15 or so this morning. I'll follow up and preach after him. And then tonight, 7 o'clock, we'll be back on our normal schedule, wrapping up the conference. Hey, hopefully you have a great day. Thanks for joining us.